Hero CSMs are not a strength. And if that feels uncomfortable, that's usually because most teams have been trained to celebrate. Hero CSMs get the shout-outs. They save the account at the last minute. They handle the difficult customers no one else wants. They know who to message internally to get things unstuck. And from the outside, it looks like excellence. But from a systems perspective, it's fragility. Now, you might be thinking, but every team has high performers. What's wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that until the model starts depending on them. That's the line strong CS leaders learn to watch for. There's a big difference between a CSM who can go above and beyond and a CS model that only works when someone does that. Hero CSMs usually aren't just good at the job. They're compensating, and they're compensating for unclear ownership, for messy handoffs, for unrealistic capacity, for expectations that were never properly set. Hero CSMs carry context no one else has. They bridge gaps the system never closed, and they smooth over decisions that should have been made earlier. And because they're good at it, the system doesn't feel the pain. That's the part most teams miss. Heroics don't just save accounts, they hide problems. When a hero steps in, the escalation doesn't reach leadership. The broken process doesn't get fixed, and the unclear boundary doesn't get clarified. Everything works, but just barely enough to move on. So leadership concludes, everything's fine, but it's not fine. It's borrowing success from a small number of people and hoping that interest never comes due, but it always does. The interest shows up as burnout, as uneven customer experiences, as books of business that fall apart when someone leaves, gets promoted, or takes a vacation. Now you might be thinking, isn't that just what great CSMs do? And here's the question that reframed everything for me. If the person stopped doing heroic work, would the system still hold? If the answer is no, that's not a performance issue, that's a design issue. And here's where leadership intent quietly backfires. We say we want strategic CS, but we reward responsiveness. We say we want prevention, but we praise saves. We say we want consistency, but we celebrate exceptions. So the system learns exactly what to optimize for. It learns that being indispensable is safer than being scalable, that absorbing chaos is more valuable than eliminating it, and that fixing upstream problems is risky, but fixing downstream symptoms gets rewarded. Over time, hero behavior stops being exceptional, it becomes expected. And that's where teams get stuck. Because now, pulling back feels dangerous, normalizing service feels like a downgrade, and asking heroes to stop compensating feels like lowering the bar, even though it's actually raising it. This is why strong CS leaders don't ask who are the best CSMs. They ask different questions. Where does the system rely on personal sacrifice? Which accounts only work because someone is bending the rules? What breaks when people stop going above and beyond? Those questions aren't comfortable, but they are honest. The goal of customer success is not to create heroes. It's to design a system where average performance still delivers reliable outcomes. Where success comes from clear expectations, explicit ownership, and realistic capacity, not individual heroics. Hero CSMs aren't the problem. They are the signal. They're pointing directly at the places where the system is unfinished. And if removing one person would put a meaningful portion of your book of business at risk, that's not loyalty or dedication, that's structural fragility. Strong CS leadership is about reducing that fragility, even when it means celebrating quieter work, fewer saves, and less visible efforts. Because the most mature CS teams don't look impressive in the moment. They actually look kind of boring. And boring is usually a sign that the system is finally doing its job. In the next video, I want to talk about when customer success should actually say no and why most teams get that decision backwards. If this one made you uncomfortable, that's often the first sign you're seeing the system more clearly. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.